Coverage continues tonight on the showdown in Annapolis between the executive and legislative branches of the state government. Both parties vowing to make sure that the results of the 2020 census are fairly worked into the way that congressional maps are drawn. After all, once the ink is dry and the maps are set, they are staying like that for the next decade. WVM's Stephen Cohen has the latest.
Throngs of protesters besieged the State House for fairness in the way we vote.
There being 97 votes in the affirmative, House Bill 1, having received the constitutional majority, is declared passed.
It has been back and forth at the State House all week. Democratic supermajorities in the General Assembly pushing ahead with their own plan, not Governor Larry Hogan's, on lines for Maryland's 8 seats in the U.S. House of Representatives on the second day of the special session. There's more to come.
And we expect him to veto it because he believes that it is a gerrymandered partisan map.
The Maryland League of Women Voters cites a Princeton University study giving the legislature's maps an F, a failing grade for putting partisan political advantage ahead of map making for compact and contiguous districts.
We want to see maps that meet the people's needs, not politicians' needs.
These reformists want an open process for drawing these lines, not one devised in smoke-filled rooms.
Congressional and state legislative maps drawn by the voters, not elected officials and party leaders behind closed doors of brandy and cigars.
All this veto ping-pong can be avoided, these activists say, with true reform to the entire process.
That's why the League of Women Voters of Washington County and the League of Women Voters of Maryland is pressing the politicians to create a fairer process in Maryland, perhaps one like the Independent Commission in California that has created districts that are more competitive and less polarized.
It is one of 10 states already to have such a panel.
And these protesters behind me are insisting on an independent redistricting commission. Reporting from the State House in Annapolis, Stephen Cohen for WDVM 25.
Right there on Lawyers Mall. Stephen, thank you. Republicans continue to argue that Democrats in Annapolis are politicizing this process and trying to make it so that Maryland's lone GOP member of the U.S. House, Congressman Andy Harris, has a harder re-election.